I don't know what it is about having a baby and giving my mother a grandchild that's brought out the worst in her. Had a few gripes on this sub since my mother has been acting up, but she seems to be getting worse rather than better. All started off last August when me and my girlfriend discovered we were having a baby. As months went on, she was just constantly firing name ideas towards me. Any that I didn't like, she'd argue and question why. Then when we found a name we liked and she didn't, it sparked issues. Our son then came 6 weeks early in March. My girlfriend and our son were nearly on their deathbeds due to complications. My mother felt so entitled, she felt it was appropriate to start causing arguments with me over telling her she wasn't allowed to the hospital due to restrictions. And she was fuming my mill was there and she couldn't be. She spent weeks trying to cause an argument with my girlfriend. Kept accusing my girlfriend of snapping at her when she hadn't been. Started accusing my mill of being a thief over some baby clothes she'd bought our baby because it was from an expensive shop. Had a massive argument with her a month or two ago where I told her I wanted her to go to the doctors and get some help because I think she's either menopausal, depressed, or even starting with dementia. She's been behaving absolutely deluded. She apologized to me and my girlfriend and even bought her a bunch of flowers. My mother never apologizes, so I really thought she meant it. But over the last few weeks she's started again. Went funny with me a week ago because my girlfriend has been offered redundancy in her job and she's accepted it. She hates her job, and has wanted this for years. We're in a good place financially at the minute. But we think Mum is fuming because she wants my girlfriend to go back to work after maternity leave so she can have our son all of the time. As much as we want him to have a good relationship with his grandma, we don't want this all of the time. She was then fuming last weekend as my girlfriend was carrying him in a carrier and didn't let my mum have a cuddle straight away. And then he was poorly a couple of nights ago and we managed to get him to an out-of-hours doctor's appointment just after midnight. We were exhausted and so took him to the appointment. He got given the all clear, we came home, got a wash and went straight to bed. Mum came to visit yesterday evening where we told her. She then decided to go home, message me and start an argument that we hadn't told her sooner. I wish she would just leave us to be parents. Stop taking everything personally and taking things out on us. We're exhausted without already feeling like we're walking on eggshells with her. Entitled Mum thinks, adults only, doesn't apply to her kid at resort pool, removed by staff. My husband and I are currently vacationing at a 5-star hotel. There are 2 separate pools, one for kids, families and one for adults, 21 plus is enforced. Both pools are very clearly marked as such by large signs placed around the perimeters of each. We have been here for a few days and it has been literal paradise. We have not run into many families, kids, and those that we did see were exceptionally well behaved and attended to by their parents. Until today. We went to the adult pool and got set up on 2 chairs. The pool was in front of us and the hot tub was behind us. It was a tad chilly, so we ventured over to the hot tub, where we saw a kid, about 7, playing with a ton of Star Wars toys on the steps. Call me a Karen, I don't care, but this set me off. We came to this resort specifically because of the 2 very separate pools with enforced rules. I want to relax, I don't feel like hearing screaming kids on vacation. I went over to the attendant stand and asked if the hot tub was for families, and if so, was there an adults-only hot tub that we might be directed to. I knew the answer, I just didn't want to come across as too aggressive. I was told that the hot tub was, indeed, for adults only, so I proceeded to tell both pool attendants that there was a child in the hot tub and I didn't know if his parent was nearby. You guys, both pool attendants were basically like, hell no, and walked very fast over to the hot tub and told a woman, who was apparently the mother, entitled mother, of the child that it was adults only and they had to leave. The kid was told to get out, crying and screaming ensued, and he and the mum then just sat on the chairs. But wait, there's more. After about 5 to 10 minutes, they were still sitting on the chairs in the adult area, and again, the attendant came over and informed them that the area was adults only, and they're not even allowed to sit there, even if they're not actively using the hot tub. Entitled mother was pissed, angrily packed up their stuff, and both were ushered out of the adults area. I suspect they were there because the kids' pool area was super busy and entitled mother didn't want to deal with other kids or couldn't score a chair. We tipped the attendants generously on our way out and are already planning our next vacation here. Lady got mad for refusing to sell slime to her daughter. This is a very old story, back when I was in 3rd grade. Over 10 years ago, Our elementary school has an annual school fair which the third graders run as part of their financial unit in second semester. Part of the fair was running a store for 2 school days. Each third grader is allowed to run their store, which is really a small Costco table, with as little or as many items. The only thing is the items must be homemade, so they cannot be store-bought items that we are flipping. My mum helped me make over 200 small 2 ounces containers of slime to sell those 2 days. I was so excited for those 2 days. Now, fast forward to the event, and I almost sold out by the end of the second day. Barely had maybe 10 or 15 containers left. Now, one of my customers was my neighbor's 2nd grade daughter. She came to my table and wanted to buy a pack of slime, which I was selling for $1 each, but only had 50 cents left from spending all her money elsewhere. So, I told her, I can't give her it. She moved on, and I didn't think much of it. Dismissal comes around and all my friends and I get on the bus super happy with all the money we've made. Since she's my neighbor, she was also on our bus route and conveniently sat across from my seat. Throughout the ride, she kept asking me for just one slime. As a favor, I declined but offered to trade one of my slimes for something else she bought today. She bought some popsicle stick car which I thought was very cool. Now here is where I may have gotten a little assholey. She handed me that little car, and I decided to mess with her a little. Nothing mean, just friendly teasing. I refused to give my slime to her and took the car and was laughing with my friends. It was never my intention to scam her, as literally less than 30 seconds I gave her the pack of slime. All good, right? Nope. She was fine after that and was laughing over it too, but once we all got off at our stop and she mentioned how she got the slime to her mum Karen. Her mum went crazy on me and my mum. She accused us of being scammers, sinful people, and invaders. We were Indian people in a mostly white neighborhood. She went on to say how we probably learned from the call centers. WTF? The daughter looked so embarrassed of her mum and kept telling her mum to stop. But no, her mum had a tendency to flip out on everyone over minor things. My mum didn't speak English very well as she had lived in rural India almost her whole life, but she could tell how angry my neighbor was. The whole incident frightened her so bad. A few hours later, my neighbor's husband came over and knocked on our door. We were afraid to open the door, but my dad went to talk, and turns out, he came over to apologize for his crazy wife. Looks like he was tired of her bull as well. He came inside and we all had a great time over dinner and snacks. The husband was a really chill dude. Now a little extra part to this story. The husband had been dealing with her BS for way too long, and a few years later, when I was in middle school, he divorced her. Turns out it was his house, so she left, took $80K from him, but still left. The daughter left too, which was a bummer cause she was actually really kind, only her mum was the crazy one. In today's time, my neighbor is happily married to another lady who is awesome. She is super chill as well. Finally stopped talking to my mum. My mum got worse and worse over the years, especially after dad died. Recently my mum was pushing me to pay for the family's car insurance, $3,000. She was saying if I don't I'll lose my cell phone, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime and cut in the family home when she sells it. Something I know already the answer to. I won't get a dime even if I bought her mortgage out from under her. I own a vehicle but I only drive it 3 to 4 months a year as I'm at sea and I virtually until this year couldn't use any of those apps unless I'm in a town. Already she was on thin ice with me. New Year's came and it seemed the bill came earlier and earlier and the premium got higher and higher and she made her demands. I told her no as I have to take responsibility for my own life. I asked to keep my number and mailed my savings bonds. She didn't respond other than repeating what she said. My mum then sent me a message that sounded so fake on my birthday. I didn't respond since the message sounded so disingenuous since she didn't know where I was. My deadline to leave for work was getting closer and she sent me reminders to pay off the insurance bill for her. Within that week I got my insurance and set up a phone plan and got my girlfriend a new phone. My mum sent me a text on the due date demanding I pay. I didn't respond despite a week earlier she cited my intentions. Basically she was trying to gaslight me. I get ready to go to work, get on the bus and into my journey I get text from her. Did you call me? You called 3 times. My phone didn't call out once especially to her and I didn't respond. But I texted my girlfriend about what happened. She thought it was weird as hell. My mum went full psycho. I don't know why you are ignoring me but I know your ship's in and I'm wondering why you don't see me or talk to me. I never told her my ship's in the port she specified, and I was very scared. So in the end I blocked her, my brothers, and family members who may have told her. I'm a lot happier now escaping her and moving on in life.